you ever heard about the leper king? The one who defeated Saladin? Imagine a king who was only 24 years old, sitting on the throne of Jerusalem while suffering from a deadly disease with no cure. Despite his pain, he personally led armies against Saladin al-Ayyubi and achieved remarkable victories. However, his premature death in the year 1185 changed the course of the city's history and paved the way for the Battle of Hattin, which ended with the liberation of Jerusalem. This king was Baldwin IV, the Leper King. Early life and childhood. Baldwin IV was born in the year 1161 in Jerusalem. He was the son of Amalric I, king of Jerusalem, from the Baldwin family that ruled the Crusader kingdom of Jerusalem. From his childhood, his tutor, William of Tyre, noticed that the boy did not feel pain when pinched on his arms or legs, which was the first indication that he had leprosy. Despite his illness, he received an excellent education in politics, religion, and knighthood. Ascension to the throne. After the death of his father, King Amalric I, in the year 1174, Baldwin was only 13 years old. He ascended the throne under the guardianship of his relatives and the kingdom's advisors. Despite his young age and physical weakness, he showed great determination to rule and defend his kingdom. Reign and conflicts. Leprosy prevented him from marrying or producing an heir, which caused political crises within the kingdom. He faced the formidable leader Saladin al-Ayyubi in several battles. One of his most notable victories was the Battle of Montgizard in the year 1177, where he, with his small force, achieved a significant victory over Salah al-Din's much larger army. He constantly tried to balance between the feuding nobles and the growing Islamic threat under Salah al-Din. Decline of health and death. As the disease progressed, he gradually lost his sight and strength, eventually becoming unable to lead on the battlefield. In the year 1183, he appointed his nephew, Baldwin V, as heir to the throne. King Baldwin IV died in Jerusalem in the year 1185 at the young age of 24. After his death, the Crusader kingdom of Jerusalem quickly weakened, paving the way for its defeat at the Battle of Hattin in the year 1187, and the subsequent liberation of Jerusalem by Salah al-Din al-Ayyubi. Urushalim is not merely an ordinary city on the world map. It is one of the most ancient and most sacred cities in the world, a city that unites history with spirituality, and to which the hearts of millions remain deeply attached. This is Jerusalem, the city often described as the heart of the world, a place upon which civilizations, religions, and epoch-making events have left their mark, transforming it into an eternal symbol for all humanity. It is a city whose history spans more than 5,000 years, where ancient heritage is interwoven with profound spirituality. Upon its stones, the story of humankind has been inscribed, and through its gates, the greatest armies of history have marched. Jerusalem is the city described as the heart of the world, the site of the Prophet Muhammad's night journey and ascension, the home of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and the place of Solomon's temple according to Jewish tradition. For this reason, Jerusalem has never been just a city. It has always been a symbol of conflict, peace, and sanctity all at once. Origins and history. Historians trace the beginnings of Jerusalem back to the 3rd millennium BCE, when it was settled by the Jebusites, a Canaanite people. They called it Jebus, and later it became known as Jerusalem, meaning the city of peace. Over time, Jerusalem grew into a political and religious center. In biblical tradition, it is linked with King David, who is said to have made it his capital, and with King Solomon, who built the first temple. Later, it fell under the Babylonians, Persians, and Greeks, until the Romans entered and destroyed the Second Temple, renaming the city Aelia Capitolina. During the Byzantine era, Jerusalem emerged as a prominent Christian city. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre was built in the 4th century AD by order of Emperor Constantine and his mother Helena. In 638 AD, the Caliph Umar ibn al-Khattab entered the city peacefully after receiving its keys from Patriarch Sophronius, marking the beginning of the Islamic chapter of Jerusalem's history. In the Middle Ages, Jerusalem witnessed the Crusades, which lasted for over a century, until the great Muslim commander Salah al-Din al-Ayyubi, Saladin, liberated it in 1187 AD after the famous Battle of Hattin. The city then remained under Islamic rule, most prominently during the Ottoman era, which lasted 4 centuries. In modern times, Jerusalem entered a new phase under the British Mandate, followed by the Israeli occupation in 1967, making it the focal point of the ongoing Arab-Israeli conflict to this day. Islamic landmarks in Jerusalem. Jerusalem is not only a spiritual capital for Muslims, but also a sacred site directly linked to the life of the Prophet Muhammad. Watan Al-Aqsa Mosque, the first Qibla and the third holiest sanctuary in Islam. It covers an area of about 144 dunams, including courtyards, domes, schools, and ablution facilities. It was here that the Prophet Muhammad prayed with the prophets during the night journey and ascension. 2. The Dome of the Rock, built by the Umayyad Caliph Abd al-Malik ibn Marwan in 691 AD, famous for its iconic golden dome, one of the masterpieces of Islamic architecture. Inside lies the sacred rock from which the Prophet is believed to have ascended to heaven. The Marwani Mosque, located in the southeastern corner of Al-Aqsa, also known as the Marwani Prayer Hall, originally a massive substructure built in the Umayyad period, used for centuries as a storage area, later restored and reopened as a prayer space in modern times. 4. The Old City Gates, including Damascus Gate, the most beautiful and vibrant, Lion's Gate leading to Al-Aqsa, and Mughrabi Gate, which is controlled today by the Israeli authorities. 5. The ancient markets, such as the cotton market, the perfume market, and the butcher's market. Narrow, historic bazaars dating back to Islamic times, still bustling with trade and preserving their authentic character. Christian landmarks in Jerusalem. For Christians worldwide, Jerusalem is the holiest city, the stage of Jesus Christ's life, crucifixion, and resurrection according to Christian belief. 1. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre, the most sacred church in Christianity, built in the 4th century, believed to mark the site of Christ's crucifixion, burial, and resurrection, houses the Holy Tomb, with centuries of restorations and expansions. 2. The Via Dolorosa, Way of the Cross, runs through the Old City, ending at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, believed to be the path along which Jesus carried the cross to his crucifixion. Pilgrims from across the globe walk this path, especially on Good Friday. At the Church of All Nations, Basilica of the Agony, located at the foot of the Mount of Olives, in the Garden of Gethsemane, tradition holds that Jesus prayed here before his arrest. Jewish landmarks in Jerusalem. Jews regard Jerusalem as the center of their faith, and the site of the so-called Temple of Solomon. The most significant landmarks they venerate include 1. Al-Barak Wall, called the Western Wall or Wailing Wall by Jews, a wall adjacent to Al-Aqsa Mosque. Muslims consider it part of the Western Wall of Al-Aqsa, while Jews revere it as the holiest site of prayer, claiming it is a remnant of the Second Temple. 2. The Jewish Quarter, one of the 4 quarters of the Old City, contains several synagogues, such as the Herva Synagogue, extensively rebuilt after the Israeli occupation of East Jerusalem in 1967. 3. The City of David archaeological site, located south of Al-Aqsa Mosque. In Jerusalem, the past meets the present, and heaven embraces the earth. Here, prayers rise, the voices of worshipers ascend to the Lord of the heavens, and the tears of believers of all faiths are shed. Jerusalem will forever remain a sacred city. It may be besieged by walls and rival powers may contend over it. But Jerusalem can never be imprisoned, for it lives in the hearts of all who have prayed within, it and all who have longed for it. If you enjoyed this video and loved this journey through history, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell to get all our latest updates.